Assalamu Alaikum, how are you guys? Today we will talk about the stages of preaching in Meccan life. This is our fourth video. So when we talk about the stages of preaching, the preaching began after Holy Prophet ﷺ's first experience of revelation. These stages are divided into three parts. So all of these stages occurred in Meccan era. All of these preachings in these stages took place because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded Holy Prophet to preach. And all of these, or each of these stages, had its own effect and own set of followers. So let's talk about the first stage, in which only the close circle of people came towards Islam. And the first person and the first female was Hazrat Khadija Razallahu Ta'ala anhu, who was also the wife of Holy Prophet. Then we see the first male adult, free male adult, was Hazrat Abu Bakr Razallahu Ta'ala anhu, who accepted Islam, and he was the best friend of Holy Prophet. The first child to accept Islam was Hazrat Ali Razallahu Ta'ala anhu, and the first freed slave was Hazrat Zaid bin Harisa, who was also given the name of Zaid bin Muhammad after Holy Prophet adopted him for a certain period of time. The first slave, according to many narration, was Hazrat Bilal Razillah Ta'ala anhu. In this context, you may include the name of Waraka bin Nawfal as well, because he accepted Islam, or he accepted the Prophet as a prophet right after he told him the experience of the first revelation. So we can include Hazrat Waraka bin Nawfal's name as well. So this is the end of the first stage. Then we talk about the second stage. In the second stage, Holy Prophet was asked to warn his relatives, kith and kins. In this, he commanded, or he invited the people of Banu Abdul Muttalib and Banu Hashim for a feast, and he prepared mutton leg and a bowl of milk for them, and Hazrat Ali Razallahu Ta'ala anhu was there to help him out. Now the guests came, they ate the mutton leg, they had the milk, but miraculously the quantity of the food did not diminish. Now you have to understand something. What Holy Prophet was doing after his prophethood, his lifestyle, the way he would go around and the way he would pray had changed. And people were observing. But for them it was all right as long as he kept himself to himself. They knew that he did not go worship the idols. Right? So when Abu Lahab saw that the quantity of the food had not diminished, and he had an inkling what he would be talking about, what Holy Prophet would be talking about, he just stood up and said, "Oh, he has casted us on with a spell." So with that he has casted them with a spell, he just got up and left. Along with him left the rest of the people as well. Even though Abu Lahab was not a chief of Banu Abdul Muttalib or Banu Hashim, he was an influential person. So when people left, Holy Prophet did not have any chance to talk about them, about Islam. So he invited them the next day, and the same process was repeated. As a culture, Arabs would never say no to an invitation, so all of them came again. This time, Holy Prophet did not leave any chance. And what did he do? He invited them towards Islam, toward worship of one Allah. There was a silence. Nobody could believe that actually he would call them towards the worship of one Allah, and he would ask them to leave the idol worshipping which their forefather had been doing. They did not say anything. So young Hazrat Ali, who according to many narration, he was either 9 years old or 10 years old, compelled that he should stand up and speak and show his support to Holy Prophet. So he got up And he said, O Messenger of Allah, I will be your helper in this, that is, in this mission. There's a whole speech of Hazrat Ali anhu regarding this event. I have only included the first sentence so that it is going to be easy for you to learn this quote. When Hazrat Ali said this, the rest of the people laughed at him because he's just a mere child. Nobody took him seriously, and they dispersed. In this, only few of his relatives converted to Islam. Hazrat Safiya anha, who was the paternal aunt of Holy Prophet. Then Bibi Fadl anha, who was the wife of Hazrat Abbas. And Hazrat Jafar anhu, who was the son of Abu Talib and brother of Hazrat Ali. They all accepted Islam. And this brings us to the end of the second stage. Now comes the third stage, which is the call at Safa. Now he is asked to preach openly by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. During the olden days, they did not have any electronic media or they did not have any social media. So how would they break a news? They would stand on a high platform like hills, call people towards them, and then make an announcement or break a news. This is what Holy Prophet did. He stood up on the Mount Safa and started to call tribes by their names. So each tribe was called by their names. People knew that this has to be something very serious. So they all came and gathered around the hill of Safa, which is very near Kaaba. So as they gathered, Holy Prophet asked them if they would believe him if he were to tell them that there is an army standing behind the hills of Safa and it is ready to attack them. Obviously, they all affirmed that they will believe him because they had never witnessed Holy Prophet lying to them or having a non-serious attitude about anything. After the affirmation, he called them towards Islam. He called them to leave the idol worshipping. He called them to believe in one Allah and fear him that he will eventually judge them on the day of judgment. Everyone was again silent. They could not believe again that he was calling them towards idol worshipping, or rather, he was calling them towards preaching us worship of one Allah, and he was calling them towards Islam, and he was talking against the idol worshipping. Abu Lahab had witnessed this before, and he was really angry now that he could actually find this courage to preach Islam publicly. So he just said, "Is this why you have called us? Curse to you." And he cursed as a holy prophet. And he left. With him, the rest of the Makkans also left. However, the few people who came towards Islam. And now, publicly, Islam was a new religion for them. Even though this was an old religion, for the Makkans, it became a new religion. And they started to persecute the Muslims, and either they were from Quraysh or either they're from the common Muslims. So this is the end of the stages of preaching. I hope this was beneficial for you. Like and subscribe if you've still not subscribed, and wait for the next video in which we are going to talk about the persecutions faced by the Muslims and the Holy Prophet. Till then, take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.